Shai joins us here in studio for more. He's a Middle East analyst and a partner with Gotham Government Relations. Shai, is it possible for the Saudis to conduct a major operation in Hodeidah, regain control of the port city without inflicting much damage on these facilities that are used to bring in aid?
It's probably not possible to do that, and I don't think that they're really worried about how much damage they cause. The docks have already been pretty much disabled, so a lot of the aid is not. It has to be offloaded by hand, basically. Which, when you're trying to feed hundreds of thousands of people who don't have water facilities, because the clean water facilities have also been destroyed, it makes Gaza look almost like a walk in the park.
So you're saying the Saudis don't even care now if there's an interruption because of fighting and because they're assaulting the city? Even if there's an interruption on offloading those supplies by hand, the Saudis don't care?
Maybe they care on some personal level, but in terms of strategic decision making, no.
And yet the civil war is at something of a stalemate, right? I mean, even if the Saudis were able to take back control of this port city by any means necessary, there's still lots of areas, including in Sana'a, where the Houthi rebels supported by Iran have control.
There's really no way to take it back without hurting a lot of people. And if we look at Syria, it's a sort of almost a parallel situation, except that in Syria, the Saudis are going after I'm not a fan of Hafez Assad, but in Syria they're going after what we might consider the legitimate leader of the legitimate government of Syria. And in Yemen, they claim that they're defending the legitimate government of Yemen. It's just a matter of they want to limit Iran's influence, I guess, and they want to show that, look, Yemen isn't just a country somewhere in the Middle East; it's on the Arabian Peninsula, and it controls access to the Red Sea. So it does have strategic value. But look, and Yemen was a failed state before the Saudis started this offensive in the last few years.
So given all of this, and given the situation that Saudi Arabia now finds itself in, with calls from Capitol Hill in Washington because of the Khashoggi affair to perhaps extricate the United States from its supporting role in the war in Yemen, what does that do for Saudi Arabia?
I don't think that Saudi Arabia needs to have an endless supply of armaments in order to do what it's doing in Yemen. And it's a bit ironic that, the Khashoggi affair it's horrific and it's outrageous, but it's one man. And we have somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 people who have already died in Yemen. And as we speak, there's not just 12 to 13 million people at risk. There's hundreds of thousands of people who are literally starving right now in Yemen. And if it took the Khashoggi affair for people to wake up and do something, then great. But it is a little ironic that it took one person going through this terrible situation in Istanbul to wake the world up, maybe to wake up Capitol Hill to what's been going on in Yemen that Congress has actually been approving for all these years.
Now, Yemen is something of a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Do the Iranians also bear some responsibility for the horrific humanitarian crisis, given that the Houthi rebels haven't exactly put down their arms in the civil war?
Absolutely. But Iran is not in a close strategic alliance with the United States. So from an American perspective, I think we need to be concerned about the Saudis. And if Iran is trying to hold the line in, let's say Iran is trying to support Assad, and we're being careful about what we do in Syria, I think we could be a little more careful, a little less indiscriminate in Yemen.
Shai is a Middle East analyst and partner with Gotham Government Relations. And Shai, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Good to have you.
Thank you, David.